standing for the post of governorship of California, Governor of California. I have the pleasure and honor of introducing Mr. Kaul. Kevin, the dice is yours. We would like to know why you're standing for this post, why your name is on the ballot, and why are you so motivated to run for this election, and essentially what is your agenda. And here you have a group of about 30 people who, if they get impressed, they may help you spread your message to 300 and to 30,000, and that's the way it grows.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin Kaul, and I'm a little brother of the CEO of this company, Almex USA. And when I say I'm a little brother, because I came out of an institute from India. There are two institutes in India which is highly respected and in the engineering field. One is the IIT. You must be knowing about IITs, which came in 20 minutes many years ago, Indian Institute of Technology. My big brother Ravi Tilak is from that institute, and I couldn't make it into that institute. The second tier of that institute is called NIT, National Institute of Technology. So I got selected many years ago, 45 years ago almost, maybe 1977, to do electrical engineering from an institute called NIT Warangal, National Institute of Technology Warangal. It's in Andhra Pradesh. Telangana, now it's called Telangana. So my background starts there, and then after I graduated in 1982, I got lucky to be operating the only aircraft carrier at that time in Asia. India had it called INS Vikrant. So I had a small stint of 7 years in the Indian Navy, where I got multiple experience in the submarines also. The submarine that you have next to the Queen Mary, the Russian subs, the Foxtrot class. So I was trained into that also. And thereafter I went to build one of the largest ports of India at that time, called Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. And I was the assistant manager at the age of 27 to build that port, which is as big as Long Beach and Los Angeles port. The whole electrical system of the port and the townships was under my supervision. Then I migrated to the United States in 1991 to do my MBA. They offered me MBA in 1 year's time in South Dakota. So I landed in New York, and from there went to South Dakota. I found that place too cold for me. So I came to California in December 1991, exactly. It's been 30 years almost. What inspired me was last year on the 4th of July when I saw California was shut down, on Independence Day. As an immigrant of this country, I felt bad that the Independence Day of the United States, which is very dear to all of us immigrants, because we sacrificed our home country to be citizens of this great nation. And we came to this country, and that is the time while walking on those beaches of Belmont Shores where I lived, I said, I will run for office now. Because Gavin Newsom let us down, because a week before that, the protesters were doing all kinds of anarchy and all those things was happening, and he kept California open for the protests. But on the Independence Day, he shut it down. So that was the triggering point of my life. I said it's time for some Indo-American to take charge of this great fifth largest economy of the world and bring it back to where it is supposed to be. There are 14 million homes of California, which is not too much to take care of, and but we are in real dire, whatever you call it, whether it's homelessness issues or other issues that is out there. So since you all are technocrats And I wanted to send also a very strong message in the United States that engineers should get into politics. Otherwise, we will not see the America that we all came to this country and migrated from our own nations. And Ravi Tilak and I are the top 1% of a country of birth. And the same thing applies to 200 nations who migrate to this great nation. So the America and the American philosophy that the whole world wide is looking at, it's being led down by the politicians. Like today morning, the news comes out that 3,000 troops are being sent to Afghanistan just to evacuate the US embassies, and we are negotiating with the Taliban to tell them that do not attack our US embassy. How are we going to call ourselves world leaders if we are only concerned about US embassy and not rest of the world? You know, there was a time that America was looked upon by the whole wide world as the world policeman. And here we are sending 3,000 troops just to protect our US embassy against the people who are going to bring Afghanistan back to the Stone Age. A $3 trillion investment by the taxpayers of this nation. And what did we get out of Afghanistan or any other country for that matter? They're comparing it with 1975, what happened in Vietnam and Saigon. They're comparing it with the Taliban. So that is not the America that neither do I want to see, or Ravi Tilak or any of our next generations would like to see, nor any one of you would like to see. So engineers getting into politics is very important, and the reason why I'm saying this is the awareness that 80% of the politicians that come out of two largest democracies of the world, India and the United States, are attorneys. I have nothing against the attorney profession, but there is a reason why in India attorneys wear a black coat and the doctors wear a white coat. So 80% of the politicians of America are also attorneys. I won't call them professional liars, but they speak what people want to hear. Engineers have an analytical brains and they need to get into politics. The Chinese don't speak English, most of the Chinese, but a country, I admire that country. We brought them where they are today, and they have become the biggest threat to us Americans. It is because 80% of the politicians of China are engineers. 80%, even the president of China today is Xi Jinping, and his wife, they both are engineers. So engineers getting into politics is an important phenomenon if America has to prosper as a nation. And I have plans, and I'm also the Global Forum founder. So I know how to bring international business to California by setting up trade offices all over the world. And my background as a community leader, Indo-American community leader, I started 30 years ago, and thereafter expanded to most of the Angelinos of 200 countries by running a US Global Business Forum. I have the experience that the whole wide world wants to come to California to do business. And it is a tragedy that 20 years ago, when Governor Gray Davis was the governor, he was told to set up a trade office in New Delhi. And he had allocated $200,000 for a California trade office to be set up in New Delhi. Arnold Schwarzenegger comes in, he removes the $200,000. Today, India alone is offering $5 trillion worth of business globally by global tenders, by inviting PSUs to be given away, like Air India, the biggest airline of India, the railways, they want joint venture partners. If we had a trade office in New Delhi or in India, we could have joint ventures done with California companies to bring $5 to $10 trillion business to California. That's my first step.
Let's harp on one point over here of what he said is engineers need to get more involved in management of country's affairs. That's the bottom line theme, and that's why I decided to support him. And let me share another good news with you over here also, is the main reason why we have assembled here.
Absolutely.
And why I called you over here today. The main reason we have assembled here is to celebrate the success of engineering and the engineer that is within all of us. We completed a job in Texas at a company called Western Extrusions. And it was a big job. It was a not out of the ordinary job, but its scope was large enough. So it required many engineering innovations also to be done at the time. And the job has been now completed successfully and commissioned. So we are celebrating the success of engineering, and everybody present here has tremendously contributed to the success of that job. In the field, in the design, in integration, in engineering, in manufacturing, in accounting, in marketing, and all sorts of divisions have come together to make that success. The bottom line is this, that the engineer's prowess just doesn't stop at doing engineering stuff, but we have to transcend ourselves for the better good of the communities around us. And so when he declared his candidature and declared it with the theme that it's time for engineers now to get on the forefront, that's what I liked the most. And so I invited him to come and talk to us, and especially the alarming statistics that he just shared with us, that 80% of Chinese politicians are engineers.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. Anyways, so thank you very much, Akash. Since you threw this party over here, I invite you to take your stab at it, and then we will conclude with the lunch and in your good company.